Welcome to episode 2 of solving common entrance practice questions in mathematics. I'm sure you enjoyed episode 1 and you have done your tasks. Okay, so let's go to episode 2. We are going through 10 questions very quickly in 20 minutes or less. So let's go. First one says take 7/10 from 2.77. Take 7/10 from 2.77. Okay, so first and foremost, I don't want us to get confused. What exactly is 7/10? 7/10 actually means 7/10. 7/10. You know, tenth is actually a place value in the decimal, part of any number. So turning that to a fraction will give us 7/10. Going back to decimal would be 0.7. 7/10, 0.7. If it is 700, it's going to be 0.07. Two decimal places for two zeros in 100. Okay, so 0.7. So we can replace the 7/10 as 0.7, and then we take 0.7 away from 2.77. So 2.77 subtracting 0.7. You must learn to arrange your decimals properly. So there's a space here. I can put a 0 here to fill it up. So 7 minus 0 is 7, and 7 minus 7 is 0. 2 minus 0 is 2. So our final answer there is 2.07. Okay, number 2. Sorry about that. Okay, number 2. Number 2 says, when 4 is added to half a number, the answer is 9. What is the number? When 4 is added to half a number, the answer is 9. What is the number? When 4 is added to half of a number. Now we don't know the number, so we probably would have to represent the number with a letter as we do in algebra. So the number I will assume is an M. So if it's an M, half of it as divided by 2, and then it's a 4 is added to half of this number, so plus 4, and said our answer is what? 9. You see all this grammar written here. I've converted it to a mathematical equation out there. So you should learn to do this often. Also, it will help you to interpret mathematical questions like this. So when 4 is added to half of a number, 4 is added here to half of a number. Half of a number means the number divided by 2. Okay, so moving forward this way, like I taught you in episode 1, the operations go this way. But if you want to find what M is, the easier way for you to do it is for you to go backwards. You understand? Go backwards, and when you go backwards, all the signs you are seeing here, division here and addition here, will be reversed. So that will mean plus will be minus and division will be multiplication. So that means that I added to get 9, so I have to subtract. So that will be 9 minus 4, and that will give me a 5 as the first step. And then secondly, that 5, because I did a division here, I'll multiply by 2 instead of dividing by 2. So that 5 multiplies by 2. That will give me a 10. So that means the M right here is a 10. And if you look at it, 10 divided by 2 is 5, and 5 plus 4 is 9. So that means our answer is very, very correct. Okay, let's move to number 3. Okay, number 3, write 0.75 as the fraction in its lowest term. So I have 0.75 as a fraction. Okay, of course, you know that fractions are numbers that have numerators and denominators. So In this case, the number here becomes your numerator, but you need to be careful next time. If there is a valid number here, not a 0, maybe a digit. If it's a 1 digit, 2, 3, 4 up to 9, you have to include it alongside this. So since we are only having this 75, so you put it on top. And how many decimal places do we have here? 2. First one, second one. Decimal places are the number of digits immediately after the point. So here we have 2 decimal places. Now because we have 2 decimal places, our denominator is going to be 100. 2 zeros for 2 decimal places. If it is just 1 decimal place, it's going to be 10. If it is 3 decimal places, it's going to be 30 right under here. Okay, so we have succeeded in changing this decimal to a fraction, but that is not where we would stop, because the question specifically mentioned that this fraction should be reduced to the lowest term. So you have to use a factor, common factor, to divide the numerator and also divide the denominator. Looking at this, I would have to use a 5. 5 is the number that can actually divide both of them, smallest actually. So 5 here would give me a 15. 5 will give me 15, and 5 in 100 will give me 20. Now looking at 15 and 5, reducing to the lowest term means you should reduce it to the extent that the fraction you get at the end cannot be divided by any factor anymore. So this 15 would give us 5 in 15 will give us a 3, and 5 in 20 will give us a 4. So our final answer there is 3 over 4. 3 over 4. Okay, so that's our final answer for that. So we are able to change this to a fraction in its lowest term. Number 4, how many degrees are there in 2½ right angles? Okay, there are 2 ways to do this. Either you do it in a graphical method where you can draw right angles. Okay, so actually this is 3 right angles. This is a right angle. Angle in a corner is a right angle, and it's always equal to 90 degrees. Angle in a corner is equal to 90 degrees. So we have another one here, which is 90 degrees. That's 2. And then we also have half. See that? So half of 90 definitely is 45 degrees. 45 degrees. So you just add 90 plus 90 plus 45 to get your answer. You get the answer. And also the other method you can do is 2½ multiplied by 90. So that's 90 in 2½ places multiplied by 90 degrees. Since we are talking about right angles here, and the sum of angles in a right angle is 90 degrees. So 2½ here is changed to an improper fraction. That will give us 5 over 2, and then that will multiply 90, and of course you use 2 to divide 90. That will give us 45. Then you do 45 times 5. Okay, so both ways would still arrive you at the same answer. So I'm just gonna do 45 multiplied by 5. 45 times 5. So this is a 25 here. I keep 2 and 20, so 2 to 5. So 2 to 5 degrees. That's the total number of degrees in 2½ right angles. Number 5. In a class, 3/4 of the children stay for lunch. 9 children go home for dinner. How many stay at school? Okay, so 3/4 stay and 9 left. Now you also need to understand that when we are talking about fractions, the whole of anything in fraction is a 1. The whole is 1. So if those ones that stay stay, we have 3 over 4. And we also need the fraction of those ones that left. So those ones that left, that's left will be taking away this fraction of those that stayed away from 1. So that will be 1 minus 3 over 4. And that will give us 1 over 4. So you see that? So 1 over 4 of them are the ones that stay in school. Now we also know that we don't know the exact number of the kids that stayed, and that is what we are asked to look for, the exact number of the kids that stay. So I can do it in 2 ways. It's that I go through a longer method, which would involve me saying those that left, they are 1 over 4 of the total number, which is this, and that is 9. So 1 over 4 are the ones that went home, left, multiplied by the total number, which we don't know, and that gave us 9. Okay, so to get the total number, I will just invert this fraction, that's 4 over 1. When I invert it, 4 over 1, and I multiply by the 9. So that means all the children are 36 in number. 4 times 9, 36 in number. So if 36 children are in the class and 9 already left, that will mean that 27 stayed. So 27 children stayed. So I want you to look at it again, listen to this part again for you to get it. Okay, so let's move to the next one, which is number 6. Subtract double 19 from treble 19. Okay, so double 19 is actually 19 times 2. Double, or 19 plus 19. And then treble, which is also 3 times 19, is 19 times 3. So we have to take away our value for 19 times 2 away from the value we get when we multiply 19 by 3. Treble means 3, double means 2. Okay, so 19 times 3 should, 9 times 3 is a 27, keep 2, and that is a 57 there. And 19 times 2 should land us as a 38. Okay, so we are taking that away. Borrow, regroup. So this will give us a 9 here. You see that? And then 4 minus 3 is a 1. Now, you might not want to go through this long method. You could just look at this and solve it immediately. Why? Because it's as though I'm having 2 oranges. Double means 2. So 2, let's assume 19 is an orange. So 2 oranges taken away from 3 oranges. You understand? Treble 19 means 3 oranges. 3. You understand? Then I'm taking away 2 oranges from it. Definitely I'm going to be having 1 orange left, which is actually a 19. So you might not want to go through the method of doing the additions and subtractions and multiplications and all that. So right from the question, you could repeat that mentally. Okay, number 7. All right. Oh yeah, we have Roman numerals here. So this will be subtracting m is 1000, another m is 1000. That makes 2000, 10 and 2, 12. So 2012. 2012, taking away, what do we have here? I have 1100. C is 100, m is 1000, 1100, and this is 30, 1130, and this is 4. So 1134. 1134, and we're taking that away. Of course, we borrow. And yes, so this will give us 12 minus 4 is 8. And of course, we borrow 1 from here. When it jumps this, it becomes a 9. and this is a 10. 10 minus 3 will give us a 7, and 9 minus 1 will give us 8. So our answer is 878. Now remember, your question was given in Roman numerals, so you have to return your answer also in Roman numerals. It's very wrong for you to have a question in Roman numerals and leave it in Arabic numerals. That's the normal numbers. You have to change it back to the Roman numerals. This also applies to other forms of question. If your questions, addition, division, multiplication, is given to you in decimals, for example, or in fractions, and you did all along the line, you did a kind of conversion and you got a decimal instead of a fraction at the beginning, you have to convert that decimal to a fraction. If the question is in decimal and you got a fraction at the end, you have to convert that fraction to a decimal. That's how it's supposed to be. Okay, so 800 is 500 with 3 100s. 800. To get 800, I have to combine 500 and 3 100s, and then here 7 tens is 70. To get 70, I have to start from a 50, which is L, and join 110, that is 60, and another 10, that's 70. So I have 800, 70, and 8. 8 is 5 1 1 1. I. So that's our answer for that. Number 8. If 12 children are given 3 dozens of pencils each, how many pencils will they have all together? So each of them receive 3 dozens. 3 dozens. That's dozen. A dozen is 12. 12 things. A group of 12 things is known as a dozen. So 3 dozens would actually mean that 3 times 12. So that is 36. So this means that each of the children was given 36 pencils each. So that means 12 of them, we have 36 in 12 places. So we have to look for the total. How many pencils will they have all together? So that will mean 36 multiplied by 12. So that'll give us 36 times 10. I'm using another method of multiplication which I will explain to you, and then 36 times 2. After that, I had my answer. So what I just did with this 10 and 2 was that I split this 12 into 10 and 2 and use 36 to multiply each of them. So 36 times 10, you can also try that later on with other ones that look like that. It's 360, and 36 times 2 is 72. So you see, this is quite easy for me to work it this way. That's another method of multiplication of 2 digits. Okay, so I have this is an addition, so make sure you put your sign there. 0 plus 2 is 2, and this is a 13. I take 1 to the other side, and that gives me a 4. So all of them actually would have 432 pencils altogether. 432 pencils altogether. I hope you understand that. Okay, number 9. By how much is 405 less than 5? It's 405,332 less than 504,233. By how much is that less than that? Okay, so what we had actually asked to look for, of course, we know that 405,000 is actually less than 504,000. But we are actually asked to look for the extra that was added to 405,000 to make 504,000. So that will be a subtraction. So 504, 2, 3, 3, subtracting 405. 32. I hope you don't mind my handwriting. Actually, I have a very good handwriting. But this is computer. So let's go. So we are subtracting to find out the extra. So 3 minus 2 is 1, and 3 minus 3 is 0. So we have to borrow for this. So I borrow 1 from this. That comes here. 12 minus 3 is a 9. 12 minus 3 is a 9, and then 3 can't divide it, so I borrow 1 from here. So, and it comes there. This one will remain a 9. So 13 minus 5. 13 minus 5 is 8. And then 9 minus 0 is 0. So the extra number there is 98,901. So 405332 is less than 504233 by 98,901. Let's go to the last one. Okay, it says find the quotient of 182,406. The word quotient actually means the answer you get when you divide two numbers together. Simple as that. The result of a division is a quotient. So you have to divide 182,406. So you can use your long division method, but I prefer the short one. So let's do that. I also want you to get used to the short one, especially now that you're preparing for an examination where time is of paramount importance. So 182,400 divided by 6. Okay, 6 here is 1, and 6 here is 3. Now you don't pick two of them together again. Don't say 6 and 24. You have to pick it one after the other. You're only allowed to pick two together right from the beginning. You cannot pick two again, two digits together again when dividing. So you have to pick it one. So 6 in 2 is 0. That's impossible. So since we did not use the 2, we put the 2 close to the next digit, which is 4. So that becomes 24. 6 and 24 will give me a 4. 6 and 0 is a 0, and 6 and 0 is a 0. So here is our quotient, 30,400. Okay, so I hope you caught one or two things here. I want you to try this. Questions that look like what I've just solved for you. So try it and ensure you send your answers to me. Goodbye and good luck. See you in episode 3.